Welcome to the 15th annual Valerie Fund Walk and JAG1 Physical Therapy 5K, but most importantly, our first virtual Valerie Fund Walk and JAG1 Physical Therapy Virtual 5K, our first and only.
Hello, family and friends of the Valerie Fund. This is John Gallucci Jr., President and CEO at JAG1 Physical Therapy. As many of you know, the Valerie Fund is part of my life, my family's life. We've been involved for years helping raise money for the children and the people that work at the Valerie Fund each and every day. Our goal this year is again to support the walk and run, the Valerie Fund JAG1 Physical Therapy Walk and Run. As you know, based on 2020 COVID-19 issues, we've brought the walk and run to a virtual program. This year, our program is on October 3rd, but for the entire week leading up to October 3rd, we have different activities that everybody can get involved in to help us raise money. So come together with me, the JAG1 Physical Therapy family, and support the Valerie Fund. I look forward to hearing from, getting emails, getting texts, Twitter announcements, Instagrams, all about our fun day on October 3rd. Thank you.
Where is everybody? Where? There should be 3,000 people here. There should be 4,000 people here. Where is everybody? What a bummer. I am so sorry we can't be here together like we have been for years for the Valerie Fund, but you know what's going on, so I know it's hard. Cancer doesn't stop for COVID, so thanks for tuning in. And I've got this, you know the drill, thevaleriefund.org/walk, or you can Venmo at the Valerie Fund, but please do what you can to help. And I can't wait until I can see you and bump you or hug you. Let's not get carried away, but we definitely miss you.
If you need to see a doctor, RWJ Barnabas Health has 2 easy ways to do it from anywhere. You can see an urgent care provider 24/7 on any device with our Telemed app. Or use our website to book a virtual visit with an RWJ Barnabas Health Medical Group provider or specialist, even as a new patient. You've taken every precaution, and so have we, so don't delay your care any longer. RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
At Servier Pharmaceuticals, our deep commitment to patients is fundamental to our culture. We know that a diagnosis of acute lymphoblastic leukemia can be overwhelming. We created a patient engagement program, which is comprised of former ALL patients and caregivers themselves, who work one-on-one with patients and their families. They answer questions, help navigate treatment logistics, provide educational information, including our One for All organizational binder, to help understand the diagnosis and keep important information together. No one knows this journey like someone who has been there. Servier would like to support you. Please call us at 1-800-813-5905.
Hello, Captain Hope here to teach you how to use the Valerie Fund virtual photo booth. Step 1. Click on the link on thevaloryfund.org. It will be there from September 26th to October 3rd. 2. Select your Valerie Fund themed border. 3. Take your photos and remember to have fun. 4. Email them to yourself so that you can have them forever. 5. Post them on social media and share them with all your friends and family. 6. Take as many photos as you like. And 7. The Valerie Funds will set up a live virtual gallery where you can see all the photos taken. Have a great day and stay safe.
We didn't stand up to COVID-19 to lose you to
A heart attack.
Stroke, cancer, a burst appendix, an injury.
You are the reason we are here.
Award-winning care powered our fight against COVID-19.
But saving lives and getting you better is what we do.
Please, don't delay seeking medical attention.
We will keep you safe.
Atlantic Health System, because your health and safety matter.
Because of Valerie! For the kids!
Hello. My name is Dr. Darius Steinberg, and I am the director of the Valerie Fund Psychosocial Program at Columbia University Irving Medical Center. I work with our division's providers to provide comprehensive, compassionate care to our children and families right where they are treated. Thanks to the Valerie Fund, we are fully integrated into our division and are able to offer care to children and their families from diagnosis through treatment into survivorship and beyond. We work with the other members of our medical teams to offer programming that supports overall well-being, including one-on-one counseling and consultations. Support from the Valerie Fund also allows us to conduct research through which we seek to understand how children's medical conditions and treatment affect them with the goal of improving long-term outcomes. Support from the Valerie Fund also allows us to address patients' educational needs during treatment and into survivorship. These services include helping set up accommodations under Section 504 and individualized educational plans. Thank you for supporting the Valerie Fund's annual walk. We so appreciate the difference you are making in the lives of our patients and their families.
My name is Jenna, and I'm here to say, please support the Valerie Fund today. Go online and join our team. Bella's Bunch won't lose steam. You can walk or you can run, or you could just write a check and boom, you're done. The kids in the green shirts and their families too still need your help, you know what to do. Virtual in 2020 really changed things up, but Bella's Bunch won't give up. Please help us reach our goal. Illness really takes a toll. Cancer has not gone away. Join the Bella's Bunch today.
Hi, my name is Maria Luisa, and I am a proud social worker at the Valerie Fund Children's Center for Pediatric Cancer and Blood Disorders at St. Joseph's Children's Hospital in Patterson. In my position, I have the pleasure of working with children with sickle cell disease and other blood disorders. Our team reflects the unique needs of our diverse community. Through our partnership with the Valerie Fund, families and patients like Anna can be connected to various resources and many different services right here on site. And by supporting the Valerie Fund, all of your help makes this possible. Thank you for your support.
Team Rally for Rebecca! Don't forget the date is never too late. 9/26, come lace up your kicks. Come out and walk with us. Don't put up a fuss. It's a really great enhancer to fight childhood cancer. Woohoo! The Valerie Fund!
Hola, mi nombre es María Luisa y estoy orgullosa de ser una trabajadora social del Valerie Fund Children's Center for Pediatric Cancer and Blood Disorders at St. Joseph's Children's Hospital in Patterson. En mi posición, tengo el placer de trabajar con niños diagnosticados con anemia falciforme y otras enfermedades de sangre. Nuestro equipo refleja las necesidades individuales de nuestra diversa comunidad. Por medio de nuestra asociación con el Valerie Fund, familias y pacientes como Ana pueden ser conectados a diferentes recursos y muchos otros servicios aquí mismo en nuestro centro. Y al apoyar al Valerie Fund, ustedes nos ayudan a hacer esto posible. Gracias por su apoyo.
Thank you so much for helping the virtual event this year, and we're really looking forward to it.
my diagnosis, it has a weird story because I would have never known until the symptoms came, but I wanted to be vegetarian to start off the new year. So I kind of went in for a blood test. I was hoping just to find out that my cholesterol was high or whatever. And, you know, within a day they came back and said, hey, you know, you have these really weird numbers. You need to go into the ER right now. We recommend Morristown. So all of a sudden, you know, within 24 hours, my life was just completely taken and just flipped around. So now I'm being told I have cancer, and it's a very complex and weird journey, but, you know, every day is a struggle, so we're working. At first I was a little confused, you know, what they were or who they were, and then I was being told that, you know, through these complex and confusing times that they're going to be there for me, not exactly, you know, in the medical way, but they're going to take care of me regarding everything else. So I was able to actually pick up a guitar because they wanted to pay for it and let me, you know, express myself creatively that way. And I was also able to pick up a camera, and they helped, you know, pay off that. So they've definitely taken away the aspect of, you know, cancer being my life 24/7, and I've actually been able to get away from that for a bit. They've come to visit me while I'm there. They've definitely talked to me about a lot of stuff, and, you know, although sometimes I don't want to hear it, they're definitely there to help me. So they've been a great assistance. Joanne's my favorite person. When I look for inspiration or when I'm really down, she's been there for me. She's someone that I look up to, and, you know, hearing her story now has been something that I've taken personally, and I know that she struggles and she continues to put on that smile, and she's been continually working out, and that was something that we first connected on because I was really bummed about that when I was told that I couldn't really work out until I was done with this. And, you know, she told me that, you know, keep it low key, but it's okay, and that you can work out. But she's been amazing. You know, she's been there for me when I've had really bad days, and she told me I was going to be okay. And for the first time when I heard that, hearing coming from her, I genuinely thought, you know, hey, this isn't the end of the world. You know, cancer as it is already like a confusing and very complex time, and then you take in a pandemic and you're being told, you know, you got to wear a mask, you can't bring in, you know, your dad because only one person's allowed to visit you. So now you're kind of limiting yourself to just one person, and now you're kind of losing, you know, that in-person support. And then you're being told, hey, you know, you have to be careful for this, this, and this. And then now with the pandemic, you have to be careful for even more stuff. And then now you're taking, you know, the already limited capacity of what you can do. And now you're being told, you know, you can't do even more because you have to protect yourself. And that's very important. So going through this pandemic and the cancer it's been a weird journey, and it's been really hard. I mean, without the Valerie Fund, it'd be very tough. I've had, you know, many days where I'm bored and I'll just pick up the guitar or whatever, or what they've given me. And, you know, without that and the pricing standpoint of doing that stuff that I want to do, it'd be tough. I mean, they've been there for me, you know, for whatever I really need, you know, gaming, they've given me, you know, money and just support. And without that stuff, I genuinely don't know where I'd be. They've been there in my corner the whole time.
No matter where we are, we're in this together.
Hi, my name is Sylvie Yared, and I'm a Valerie Fund patient. I was diagnosed about 4 years ago with stage 4B Hodgkin's lymphoma, and I've been in remission for about 3 years now, and I've also been doing the walk for about 3 years. I'm here to say that I hope that you all can give whatever you can manage to support an amazing cause. The Valerie Fund treats 6,000 kids like me over 7 Valerie Fund centers across the Northeast. And it is so important this year more than ever because of the pandemic that we can help raise as much money as we can for the Valerie Fund so they can continue doing all the amazing things they do for kids with cancer and blood disorders. And you can do that by going to thevaleryfund.org/walk or Venmoing the Valerie Fund, one word, with any support you can give. It means so much, and it's so important, and it's for such an amazing cause. Thank you.
All right, everybody, now for the fun parts of the day. We're going to get up, we're going to stretch, we're going to get ready for your run, get ready for your walk. So let's get ready for the Jag1 physical therapy stretch before you go out for your 5K and before you walk. Let's turn it over to Jag1 Physical Therapy, John Gallucci.
Today, I'm going to demonstrate exercises that I call the Flexible 5. These dynamic exercises should be incorporated into your warm-up before a practice, workout, or game. Let's get going. Well, there you have my flexible 5. That should be incorporated into your warm-up before a practice, workout, or game. Until next time, I'm Bryce Salvador in collaboration with JAG 1 Physical Therapy.
And I say, wow. And every year it's bigger and better. It's wonderful. Just look at all the green shirts that are out there, because the green shirts are the kids from the centers who are healthy enough to be here. And that's a great big thing.
God willing, we continue the mission that we're on, and childhood cancer is being beaten on a daily basis, but that means we have children that are coming back as repeat customers on and on, so our need for fundraising continues.
Just represents basically everything that the Valerie Fund is working forward to, and they're just trying to help all the kids in any way possible.
It's a great event, the weather's beautiful, there's thousands of people here just for a great cause.
Today is awesome, and you see all the families and the patients gathering together to thank the Valerie Fund for all the support.
Last year on April 9th, my life had changed. A mass was found on my pituitary gland. We were shocked. But the next day, April 10th, we were referred to the Valerie Fund at North Beth Israel. The minute I walked in there, I felt like family. I started 24 rounds of proton radiation at the Laurie Proton Center. As of my most recent scans in April, I am proud to say that I am now NED, which is no evidence of disease.
I've made so many friends at my Valerie Center who are going through the same things that I am, and being able to talk about our experiences and relate to each other is what gives us that extra strength we need. It's like we're all superheroes, and our special power is that we beat cancer together.
Walking for Jerriston Moon Back Fund.
Trot and Trolls.
We're walking for the Valerie Fund.
Hi, I'm Barry Kirshner, Executive Director of the Valerie Fund. Although the world has changed considerably these past few months, the Valerie Fund goals remain the same: to offer the highest quality health care and the most compassionate health care to children fighting cancer and blood disorders. As a result of the pandemic, the need for expanded support and emergency funding has helped ensure that our families have money for food, rent, and other essential needs. Our focus remains on the patients and the rest of their family. Critically ill children in our area battling cancer and blood disorders have benefited greatly from the extraordinary generosity of so many of you who support our walk. We know our fundraising efforts and your collective response will make a difference to over 5,000 children and their families this year alone. So I want to thank you for your continued support of all of our Valerie Fund children and their families. I also want to thank our major sponsors of this year's event for their generous support. I would like to thank everyone at Jag1 Physical Therapy, Burger King, RWJ Barnabas Health, Servier, the Atlantic Healthcare System, Saker ShopRite, Investors Bank, everyone at Jersey Mike's, West Deptford Energy, St. Joseph's Healthcare Foundation, everyone at CBS Channel 2 in New York, and everyone at CBOE. Now, I'd like to invite everyone to join us as we go live to Verona Park for this year's Valerie Fund Walk and Jag1 Physical Therapy 5K. Thank you. Let's go have some fun.
We get R&R there when I was in the Army.
Welcome, everyone. My name is Barry Kirshner, Executive Director of the Valerie Fund. I wanted to say hello, and I want to thank you for joining us at our virtual Valerie Fund Walk and Jag1 Physical Therapy 5K broadcast this morning. This year, we're together but apart. Coming into this broadcast, we have already raised over $650,000, and with your help, I hope we'll be able to raise even more to support the more than 6,000 children treated at our 7 Valerie Fund centers each year. Although the world has changed considerably these past few months, the Valerie Fund goals remain the same. We're here to continue to offer the most comprehensive health care for children fighting cancer and blood disorders. As a result of the pandemic, the need for expanded support and emergency funding directly to our families has helped ensure that these same families have money for food, rent, and other essential needs. Our focus will always remain on the patients and their families. Critically ill children in our area battling cancer and blood disorders have benefited greatly from the extraordinary generosity of so many of you who support our walk and support us throughout the year. More importantly, though, we know our fundraising efforts and your collective response will make a tremendous difference to all of our children. It is now my great pleasure to introduce my good friend, John Gallucci, our virtual run sponsor. John?
Thank you, Barry. How exciting is this that we may be apart, but we're all together here at the Verona Park celebrating this great day for the Valerie Fund. We are so excited that everybody individually is working hard with their walks and runs and collecting money for the children in the Valerie Fund. Me and the family of Jag1 Physical Therapy are very excited to continually support the Valerie Fund and its mission for children with blood disorders and cancers. So I can't thank the community out there all over New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, raising money for the children of the Valerie Fund. Thank you so much. Thank you, Barry, and I greatly appreciate the Valerie Fund team. Go Valerie Fund!
John, you're the best, and Jag1 Physical Therapy has been with us for so long. It's now my pleasure to introduce our founders, Sue and Ed Goldstein from the Valerie Fund.
Sue and I thank you for your continued support of the Valerie Fund children and their families during these very difficult times. Your support has made all the difference in their lives. We will never forget for what you have done. Thank you again.
Ed and I want to say thank you as well. In fact, we thank you again and again for your support. Thanks from the Valerie Fund, from the children, from all of their families. You have been wonderful. Please continue your support. We appreciate it. Thank you again.
Today's ribbon cutting at the park is unique, but will surely be as memorable as any we've had at Verona Park with our walks and 5Ks. Today we cut the ribbon in the park at the same moment many of you will cut a ribbon at home. We've come together once again in a way that no one ever imagined, but we've also gained renewed appreciation for the strength and unity we have as a community. Much of the week-long virtual walk and JAG1 physical therapy 5K campaign took place during Pediatric Cancer and Sickle Cell Awareness Month. We all embraced this opportunity, knowing our efforts were more important than ever. This ribbon-cutting ceremony marks the end of an extraordinary week of celebrating the hope and courage of the children and families of the Valerie Fund. We are also very fortunate to have our very own patient speaker, Shariah, who you'll hear from very shortly, to represent everyone at the Valerie Fund. So now, as we cut the ribbon, we hope that next year will bring us all together in person here in Verona Park. So mark your calendars right now, June 12th of 2021. Let's all get together and cut the ribbon, everyone. Kayla, John, Ed, Sue.
Okay, everybody ready? Here it comes.
Yay! Go Valerie Fund!
Yeah.
Nicely
Okay.
done, Sue.
Oh yeah, beautiful, right?
Nicely done.
Okay, where should I put this?
Now it's time to introduce the lovely and amazing Shariah, who wants to say a few words to everyone. Shariah?
Good morning, everybody. I wish you were here with me in the park today, but welcome to the Valerie Fund and JAG1 Physical Therapy 5K, and welcome to our very first and hopefully only virtual walk. Thank you guys so much for coming out and supporting, because we need you. My name is Shariah Marsden. I am 14 years old and I am 20 months cancer free. And this is my story. At the age of 11, I played basketball. I was on 3 different cheer squads, and I maintained an A average in all of my classes. Between January and June, symptoms started presenting themselves, such as throwing up and various causes of stomach pains. I had to be pulled from school multiple times and taken to urgent care because I couldn't stand the aching pain in my stomach. We were told the cause ranged from my diet, to my menstrual cycle, to my appendix, and finally to the gas in my stomach. Leading into the summer, I was away at camp for a total of 5 weeks. During the second week of camp, my mom was notified that I had been throwing up and needed to be brought my prescribed medicine for nausea. It didn't seem to help. In fact, it seemed like my symptoms had gotten worse than before. I had trouble sleeping at night, eating, walking. My appetite wasn't the same as it used to be. Eating would affect my body for the rest of the day and night. If I overate, I would have pain walking straight or even sitting straight. If I didn't eat at all, I would be in great pain, which ultimately stopped me from being able to sleep comfortably. These symptoms weren't all that bad until my last week at camp. My stomach had puffed out and it looked as if I was pregnant. My mother immediately rushed me to the ER. We knew something was wrong because the doctors ran an ultrasound, an MRI, a PET, and a CAT scan. Throughout these tests, the ER staff were so comforting and guiding towards me and my mom. By the end of the night, we were informed that I had a mass growth connected to my liver that had grown to be the size of my head. Doctors said that I had to be admitted and that I needed emergency surgery. This was the start of my cancer journey. The next morning, Monday, I had surgery to remove the mass growth. While in recovery and then in the pediatric hospital room, I met a fantastic nurse from the Valerie Fund. Her name is Anush. She was sweet, funny, kind, and most of all, she made me feel so much better. She was gentle with my bandages, showing my mom and I how to care for them properly. That was the start of an amazing friendship. A week later, after being discharged from the hospital, I had my first follow-up appointment at the Valerie Fund. The first time I walked into the Valerie Fund, my mood immediately brightened. The colors, smiles, and warm welcomes gave me a feeling of security and support. I met my team of doctors: Dr. Batra, Dr. Butler, Nurse Kelly, Dr. D. Benedictus, and Dr. Raul. As overwhelming as the situation was, each doctor made my mom and I feel more at ease. This is the day we received the news that the mass growth that was removed was cancerous. The mass growth was called undifferentiated embryolar sarcoma of the liver. I mean, can you guys imagine hearing something like that? My mom and I looked at each other with a look that said, can you please say that again? Dr. Batra then slowed down and went into depth about the type of cancer I had. She told me that it is a rare childhood cancer and it is aggressive. Of course, this news hit us like a ton of bricks. My mother asked Dr. Batra if she would call my aunts to help us explain the situation to them. The loving support we received from every staff member that day to help us understand and move forward will forever be in my heart. In the next couple of days, I started blood tests and preparations for chemo. Throughout my chemotherapy, all my visits to the Valerie Fund was a different fun adventure. I ended up going on a ski trip with my nurse. Her name was Kim. It was so much fun. Shout out to Kim. I miss you so much. Mariella always gave me the most amazing Reiki massages that always put my mind at ease and gave my mom points to put on to help ease my nausea. Clarita informed me about what was going on, and she always made me laugh and smile. Dr. D, every time I see her, she takes my mind off of treatment by talking about shows and sneakers and everything else. Dr. Batra and Dr. Butler are always helping me find new ways to stay healthy and active without hindering me. Nurse Kelly and I are always laughing and making memories no matter the circumstance. Dr. Rao, even though I didn't see her all the time, when I did, she immediately made me happier. Imani was there making appointments, ensuring the times did not interfere with my mom's schedule. When I finished treatment, I went camping at Camp Happy Times. Not only was the camp amazing, but they were so supportive of me and my mom. I had never been there before, so they made sure to explain to me very thoroughly about how the days were going to go and the schedule for the week. I made so many amazing friends and built so many strong connections with my counselors. Now, almost 2 years later, Nurse Kelly, Nurse Kim, and Nurse Anush have since had babies of their own. And I know from the love that I received, their babies will have an abundance of love. The Valerie Fund is our second family and home. It is an amazing organization altogether. Without them, I don't know how I would have handled things. On behalf of the 6,000 kids like me, thank you so much for coming out and continuing to support the Valerie Fund. It is an amazing community that supports, helps, and loves the kids like me who have had to endure a childhood illness. You can still donate to the Valerie Fund at thevaleryfund.org/walk or on Venmo at the Valerie Fund. Every single donation counts and helps. We appreciate you and we love you. Thank you.
About a month and a half ago, early July, I was diagnosed with diffuse large B-cell lymphoma. It's a type of non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. A couple weeks before that, I just had a bone biopsy in my shoulder, so I knew that I was going to get a diagnosis soon. I never expected it was going to be cancer though. In early February, I started having a high fever, and that just never went away. I started having bone aches too, and so bad sometimes I wouldn't be able to move out of my bed in the morning until I took medication, and that continued all the way in. I was having tests and tests done all the way throughout February, March, April, May, June, until I found out from the diagnosis from the bone biopsy. Staff was very friendly. I went in, I felt very comfortable. The Dr. Batra, everyone explained everything well. It was well prepared. It was very easy. In some aspects, it's easier with COVID going on, because if you think of life like everyone's at a starting point, at a starting line, right? And with cancer, you get knocked back a couple of feet. But because of COVID, everyone else was knocked back a couple of feet. So everyone's just shorter in front of you instead of being all the way normal. So in some aspects, it was easier because I don't notice my entire summer going, because other teenagers also are losing their summer. It's been tough. I haven't been able to see my friends as much. I have to make sure that no one has COVID. I have to be super careful. I can't go to the mall. I can't do normal teenage things that they would do in the summer. I can't go to the beach. Can't go to the boardwalk. So I've lost a lot in that regards. And I've had to wear a mask, but then again, everyone's had to wear a mask. So that goes again back to where COVID kind of made it easier sometimes. Where people don't notice that I'm the only one wearing a mask. I probably would have been a lot more scared. Valerie Fund helps out a lot. They really go into detail to explain and make sure that I feel comfortable. The nurses are great, the doctors are great. Everybody that comes together from the Valerie Fund really helps out. And if I didn't have them, I'd definitely be a lot more scared. I'd definitely be a lot more worried about treatment and the cancer and everything. The Valerie Fund helps out tons of kids. I go in there, I see tons of kids my age. They're younger than me. They're not having the easiest time dealing with cancer. Kids with leukemia, kids with lymphoma. And so your donation would really help out those kids, because it'd go right to the kids, right to the doctors that are helping those kids feel safe and feel better equipped to deal with the cancer.
The story of cancer is always a personal story, and it always touches more than just one life. I want to share Colin Berg's story.
Finding out that he had leukemia was just heartbreaking. You know, one of the scariest things that we've had to go through as a couple, my wife and I.
It was a little unbelievable. The night before, he was playing in a baseball game, and the next morning we were thrust into this world of cancer.
It just takes a toll on everybody.
To hear those words, you know, your child has cancer, is devastating and overwhelming, and it's just terrible.
It was a long, slow battle. It was days where I just didn't know if I could do it.
Most people are inclined to say I can handle it myself, but going through cancer treatment, especially for almost 3 years without family, it would be impossible.
I had a wonderful support team between the Valerie Center and my family and friends that just kept saying you can do it, and without them I just probably wouldn't be here.
What would you say to other kids out there that are sick right now?
Just keep fighting. It's a long journey, it's a hard journey, but you'll get there, and just try to stay positive. It's hard, but if you stay positive, you'll definitely feel a lot better about yourself.
I was so impressed with that young man and that whole family. We are sharing Colin's story because, as you heard, Valerie Center and Valerie Fund helped him fight the good fight. Also, due to a scholarship fund from the Valerie Fund, he's going to be attending Montclair State University. Thankfully, going into sports broadcasting, not weather broadcasting, because he's going to be some pretty good competition. Sharing that story because they've had to change the way they raise money. We'll talk more about that in our next half hour.
I remember one time we came together and we were about to hug, and you're in the middle of this, just stopped, because we are where we're at. So things, little subtle things like that we have to keep away 6 feet. It's just very challenging in general. So what I've done personally with them, there are certain things that, for example, I was not able to do massages. Guided imagery we were able to do. We were able to do aromatherapy. Certain things we were able to do with it, so we have to adjust. The other thing that was very beneficial for patients was telehealth. So we saw a lot of telehealth, a lot of services through telehealth, a lot of stress management through that. So that was very helpful. But the Valerie Fund in general has been so amazing, supporting the families, either financially or just as a psychosocial team, just being there for the parents. This was a really tough situation because our kids are immunocompromised, and to think that there's a possibility when you come into the hospital to get COVID is just scary. It's scary, and a lot of parents were concerned, obviously. And I mean, as a parent, I would be so scared as well, and very careful. So the Valerie Fund is the work that the psychosocial team does is just so important, because we're there for the families emotionally, mentally, and the Valerie Fund supports them financially. So during the hard times, they kept asking us as healthcare workers, what is the need of the patient? What do we need to give them to support them? And we were able to work with that, which is really amazing, to be able to say, okay, because these are unprecedented times, we didn't know what we were gonna face. So to be able to have that opportunity to ask the parent, what is it that you need? That was just really, it's just important and really amazing.
Ann Stocknoff. I'm a social worker at the Valerie Fund Children's Center at Morristown Medical Center, Goriep Children's Hospital. I work with patients and their families, and I offer comfort, referrals to outside resources. I offer outside grants and internal grants to assist families when they're really struggling at one of the most difficult times in their life. I had been working with a teenage boy and his mom. She was a single mom, and during the pandemic, the hospital was virtually on lockdown. Families were not allowed to come in and out. Only one parent was allowed to be in the room with their child, and once they came in, it was required that they stay the entire time. And this child had a cancer diagnosis that had him stay in the hospital for a very, very long time, months. And he was very itchy. He was taking a medication that was making him very, very itchy. And his mom was not able to leave the hospital and come back with over-the-counter medications to help with his itchiness. And so I couldn't imagine being in that situation as a mom, being stuck in a room with my child and needing something for them and not being able to go out and get it and bring it back. So I went to CVS. I chose all of the over-the-counter anti-itch medicines and creams and gels that I could possibly find, and I brought it back for them with some candy that he liked and some things like that. I couldn't imagine being in that situation, not being able to get my daughters what they needed. So the Valerie Fund helps to pay for the psychosocial services in the hospital. They're grants to our hospital facilities, pay for my salary and a whole host of other salaries at the center. They cover the cost of the dietitian, educational liaison, psychologist. They cover integrative medicine. Right now, integrative medicine isn't allowed to practice because of the pandemic. But they cover, and also child life. And they cover a ton of resources for us. So I can't tell you how many times I called the Valerie Fund office and said, I have a family who can't afford groceries. And the answer was always, we'll bring gift cards so that they can go food shopping, or we'll bring gift cards so that they can get a prescription. There were grants that needed to be written for kids with sickle cell or hemophilia, whose families, both parents were not working. Both parents had not been yet approved for unemployment insurance, and they were at risk of losing their oil or their electricity, sometimes both. And the answer was always, I'll take care of that. We have generous donors, we'll take care of that. And I don't know what these families would have done if I didn't have the relationship and that the Valerie Fund wasn't so generous with us. I don't know what we would do without the donors.
It's certainly been a trying time, I think, for everyone, both as a staff and for the families that we care for. Many of our families are living on a budget during normal times, so to have their child in treatment for cancer and then to have the pandemic layered on top of it, it certainly created a much more significant hardship. Families were not able to work, not able to have their usual income, and so struggling to do just the basics of getting food, having access to food, being able to pay their household bills, things of that sort became much more urgent than it was prior to the pandemic. The Valerie Fund was really critical. What was beautiful is they said, anything you need, you can have it. And that was just sort of an open-ended offer. So what we took them up on first and foremost was food cards. Food insecurity was a primary issue for most of our families. And so we were able to, without questions asked, be able to provide ShopRite gift cards to every single one of our families, not just once, but repeatedly again and again. And so for some of those families, it was a weekly thing that we were able to do. For others, it was a one-time or once a month. But it really made it possible for them to be able to feed their families and not have to worry about that aspect of things while they were coping with the pandemic. We've been able to get laptops for families so they could participate in remote instruction. On occasion, if we needed a certain bill paid, they were able to do that. So we were thankfully able to say to our families, I know you have so many worries right now, but this is one worry that we can take away from you. So I think, sometimes we refer to life BC and AC, before cancer and after cancer, is when you get told the diagnosis or get told that your child has cancer. It's a time that you never forget. I'd love to forget, but cannot. And having that happen during a pandemic just ups the ante or makes it all the more challenging to cope with. I had a family come by my office the other day. When I'm in my office by myself, I don't have to wear a mask. And this young man was diagnosed during the COVID pandemic and has been in treatment for several months. And the mother said to me, oh my goodness, that's what you look like. I've never seen your full face. And so it struck me, because when you're being treated during a pandemic, that sense of touch, that sense of socialization and the comfort that we can provide through our nonverbal expression and through our sense of touch gets taken away. And so hugging and giving that sort of physical reassurance is much more limited now, and that has to be even more challenging for families because they crave or really need that comfort, and we're not able to provide it. Even just being able to see our faces, and you're putting your trust in strangers, and now you can't even see the face of the person you're putting trust in. But certainly on a different level, it's been very challenging for families. We had one family who was diagnosed in the emergency room, and the father was sitting in the car because you were only allowed to have one caregiver with you. And so to say to this family, I'm so sorry we have to share this horrible news with you. Can we try and find a way to make an exception, or can you swap with your husband so that we can incorporate him? Can we put him on FaceTime? And it just, you're having the most horrible day of your life, and then to be separated from the ones that you need the most. We have another young boy who's in treatment, and he's hospitalized for weeks at a time, 4 to 6 weeks at a time. And right now, siblings aren't allowed to visit, and so to be physically separated from your family, the people you trust, the people that you rely on to cheer you up and to make you feel normal, there are just other hurdles that we're asking these families to overcome, in addition to the major one of going through treatment for cancer.
So with this expansion, we have about 50% more space than we had before. It's a much more open feel. We realize that there is a healing power to what's happening not only in your body but your mind. So this is designed for a family-friendly and patient-friendly environment with better lighting, more pleasing colors, better artwork. Everything that makes us feel more like a home rather than a hospital or a doctor's office. I've been in medicine now for over 40 years, and when I first started in medicine, the only places that could take care of children with blood disease and cancer were in what they call tertiary care centers like Philadelphia or New York. We now are able to do this in the community. We can provide the same care but much closer to home. So we couldn't have done this without the support of the community and our families and the support of the foundation, who was very diligent in making sure that people knew about our center.
Thank you for being with us today at our first virtual walk, which is so important to us. We hope that you and your friends and your relatives continue to donate to help these magnificent kids get a second chance in life.
Thank you again from the bottom of our hearts.
All right, you've heard from our sponsors, you've heard from our teams, you've heard from our patients, some of our patients, Andreas and Dane, but now we need to hear from you. It's different this year, we all know it is. Please reach out and do what you can to help the Valerie Fund. And also I want you to do one last thing. Get out your phone, or if you still have a calendar, write this down. June 12th, 2021. We're gonna be back here. Till then, we need to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching.
Thank you.